Hello.
Hello and welcome to the Knit Girls. This is episode 667. I'm Laura with fancy new hair that my sixth graders hate, also
She's
known as
also
Lala.
known as Lala. I'm Leslie, also known as You Don't Call Me Les. Today is Thursday, the 19th of September, 2024. And Laura and I both use she, her pronouns.
Correct.
Laura is a very busy gal, and she's fitting us in between after school work and football game.
Yep.
So we're going to make this a relatively quick one so she can get stuff done because she is a busy lady.
Yep. And then we have an
Would you?
SSK Zoom tonight too.
Yeah, oh yeah, and that.
Lots of
Always,
things going on.
always. Do you want to go first or would you like me to?
I can go first. I'm sitting here
Okay.
spinning. Let me stop my wheel.
I love
Spinning.
that I couldn't even tell you were spinning because your wheel is so
All my
silent.
wheels are very quiet right now. All right, so that is not what I want to talk about. I have three projects on the needles. One is an older project. I've been trying to pick up some older projects and finish them before starting some new things. And I signed up for a new mystery cowl, so I have to finish this one from last year. So
Oh, I
this
remember
is,
this.
yep, it's the start. It had just been joined in the round, so it's super awkward to show, but it is Telly Bean's Haunted House cowl from last year. Did I say Telly Beans? I meant, yeah, Telly Beans. Oof. So it's the Haunted House cowl. It was a knit along. And I am five, just the start of the fifth clue out of 13. So we have like spiders supposedly up there.
Mm-hmm.
Hard to see. And then eyeballs.
Oh, with the beads. Okay.
Yeah. They were supposed to be baubles and I switched it to beads. I cannot remember
Uh,
what that was supposed to be, but there are witches' brooms at the bottom. You kind of see the brooms with those wrap
oh
stitches.
yeah. That's
Um,
cool.
yeah.
Weren't you about to start a color work section?
Yep, I am about to
Okay.
start a color work section, and when I pulled out my yarn, it looked like that. So I am going to reorganize and restart that section. I think I just joined it in the round, so I am going to start that section and hopefully get the next what's 9 sections done before the new clue came out. And I'm using really cool needles that I had forgotten that I even owned. They're the oh, what is the name of them? It's a small independent company and they have wooden needles and then the metals diecraft.
Diecraft, yeah,
So
okay.
I got one set of their metals last year, probably for the SSK tasting room, and
Mm-hmm.
never finished this project. So, yep. I think these are their heavy metals, is what they call them. So that is all living. All these mini skeins, which were very much assorted out of my stash. That's living. I know some of them are Miss Babs, but there are some that are just Leading Men Fiber Arts, I think is the bright pink one. Just random stuff, and that's living in a fat squirrel Halloween bag from last year.
Oh,
She had really good Halloween bags this year too. So all the Halloween stuff. And then other things on my needles. I'm also finishing up a pair of socks out of Teeny Button Studio on size zeros. These were sock tubes. When last y'all saw them, I had just picked up for the toe. And I have one more decrease, and then I'm about to graft this toe closed. And then
hmm.
I will cut and put in afterthought heels and have some new Halloween socks. So that is living in another fat squirrel bag that gives me David the Gnome's vibes to be like a super 80s child. So those are head in progress. And then the knitting that is living in my backpack that I take to school every day is the start of a wee pair of toe-up socks. And these are by someone who is new to me. I bought this. It's like Haverland. Haverland.
Okay, I haven't heard of that.
I bought these a couple of years ago. They do really good Halloween colors, and this is their Potomac sock base, and is in the colorway lock your doors, bolt your windows, and turn off the lights. So very, very cute. It's a superwash merino nylon blend, 462 yards, also being knit on size zeros. And I need to switch this over to a Halloween bag because it's hanging out in strawberry shortcake right now.
Can't have that.
We've got to switch it up. I've got some really cool new Halloween bags that it's the scary season. So I gotta I gotta use those bags when I can. So those are the three things that are currently on my needles. What are you working on?
Mostly the same things, but I have made some progress. So on the farmhouse cardigan, which is an Amy Christopher's pattern, it's just a simple like mistake rib.
Cute. And the sleeves are stockinette, right?
Mhm. So I had finished the first sleeve and was working on the second, but the second one's finished now.
Yay.
And then I started the ribbing for the bottom. I'm already sick of ribbing, and the whole thing is ribbing every other row. So this might be one that I pick up and put down throughout the year. Like I really want the finished thing, and I'm gonna love the finished thing, but um,
And it's
it's
SSK
ribbing.
yarn. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's ribbing on size 9s, and so like it's a lot of work for my hands. But I'm really liking it. It's the
Not,
why
I
not?
would have to use super bulky yarn to go on size 9s.
Yeah, it's the biggest needle I've used in a while for. But this is a. I can't remember if it's a DK or a worsted. I think it's a DK. The yarn. I happen to have it right here.
It's why not?
Uh, DK. Yep, it's the why not in the Scholar base, and it is the Red Spire
It's
colorway.
very pretty. She had some great
So
stuff
it's
at Wisconsin Sheep and Wool too.
yeah, I like that she carries more than just merino. Like so, and
Yep.
she does really good like tonals.
Uh-huh. She's got great breed specific yarn. I have that bag
So
too.
yeah, this is from this year's SSK. So it's like cats and funny poses. It's always a win with a cat bag. And then the other thing that I'm working on is the Oban cardigan, which apparently I put down in the middle of a row. Sounds like me. This is by Thea Coleman. And last week I had just joined the pockets. So I've done, I don't know, maybe 2 inches since last week. This is out of Jared Flood's um, Brooklyn Tweed Shelter,
Yep.
and the color is confetti. So what's funny is after I showed this last week, we got a text from our friend Holly, who's a local knitter, and she had
She's in
done.
DFW this week.
Oh, is that where she's at? Okay. Um, she had done this exact same. She did the pullover version, but she did the same pattern in the same yarn, and it looked great. So,
Yep, it's in.
so yeah, that's the other thing that I'm working on, and I swatched for. So while we were at Wisconsin, I had been looking for some Surrey, and I found this Surrey at Utopia. So
They have
it's
a Harris colorway that I missed, and I'm very
oh,
sad, and they're sold out online.
well, the lady was very nice.
Yeah.
So
And they are
this
great people. Yep.
Utopia, so it's alpaca and silk. So it's like an alternative to mohair for anyone that hasn't run into it yet. And it's just a tonal gray. And then the pattern that I am knitting actually called for a yarn that was new to me that was called Knitting for Olive.
Yeah,
And
okay, which one did you get?
So I was talking with Kimber, Fiber Optic, and she's like, "Oh, we carry knitting for Olive."
Yeah, which
So,
one did you get? Which base is that? The cotton merino. Okay, so the new Andrea Mowry uses that yarn.
oh, okay.
And it's
Um,
billed as like a light fingering weight.
yeah, I would agree with that.
Okay.
It's actually really nice to work with. It's 70% cotton, 30% merino. And it's just I just got the pearl gray color, so I got two grays that will.
It's really pretty. I bought that pattern and then was reading through it, and part of it is knit on size 1 needle, so I would have to go down to double zeros to knit that sweater.
What part is it that's
I'm
knit?
guessing the ribbing. The rest of it's knit on
Oh,
size 3s, so I'll have
oh
to go
yeah,
down to
okay.
1s
That
probably.
makes sense. It's a really cute
So
top
if
though.
not zeros, it is very cute.
It's a sailor or something.
Yeah, hey sailor.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Um, so I want to compare the knitting for Olive though to Coast by Holstgarn that I bought
Oh,
for my
okay,
other top to see how
yeah.
they compare, because the Holstgarn, the knitting for Olive's not super expensive. I think what
Mm-mm.
you showed was like $10 a
It's
skein.
$10 a skein at
Yeah,
Fiber Optic. That's what it cost, was ten
yeah.
dollars a skein.
The Holstgarn I think is around 6. So I just want to compare the
Um,
two and see how they
yeah,
feel
this
compared
one
to
you
each other.
get it's 50 grams, so 250 meters. I don't know what the yardage of that is, but um, yeah. So I swatched, and I went up a needle size as I typically have to do, and it came out really nice. So I really
That's
like the feel of
cute.
it. This is the super simple lace pattern. Um, it's just this basically all over with a wide V neck, and the neck even joins in a V in the back. Like it's high, but it joins in a
Say
V.
what pattern that is?
Garden Pullover by Anka Strick.
Oh yeah.
So everything we talk about is in our show notes, and our show notes are on our website, which is TheKnitGirlls, the 3ls.com. But yeah, so it's nice and soft and fuzzy, and it gives it a little bit of a halo. And like I went around and tucked it in and
Yeah.
made sure that like it didn't irritate anything. And even though like it's got a lace pattern, so I'll wear something between it and my skin, but still,
Yeah.
um, yeah, I'm happy with how it came out. There is a little bit of like striping almost, but that's because it's such a small diameter swatch. Like when it gets spread out over the whole thing, it won't. And I'll alternate as
That is a
well.
very small
Probably,
swatch. Yeah.
yeah. Well, it calls for, I don't remember, 19 stitches over 4 inches. So I cast on exactly 19 stitches and then just like measure to make sure that it wasn't curling and that it met the right size. So um, yeah, I'm happy with how it came out. I think that it's going to be nice, but I don't know if I can cast it on yet, because at that point I will have,
I was
I
gonna
think,
say,
4 sweaters on the needles. That's a
I know
lot.
you have at least 4. So you have the 2 that you're currently working on. You have the hand spun one.
The Rocket Tea and the Barocco one.
Yeah, the Barocco
So
remix.
that's four. So that would be 5 sweaters on the needles. So maybe I will if I just really, really get bored with the other stuff. But I
You
would
could
like
finish
to.
remix, or you could probably finish the hand spun one pretty quickly.
Yeah, just yeah, I need to. I need to finish something because I'm not doing a whole lot of
The other
finishing
ones are
lately.
just like knitting stockinette in the round, right?
Basically, yeah, the
Yeah.
waves of change, you alternate stockinette and reverse stockinette, but yes, it's essentially the same thing. Well, a row of reverse stockinette.
Yeah. Pearl bumps.
Um, yeah, so that's what I've been working on. I haven't touched my sock since last week, so I'm not even going to bother showing it because I didn't touch it. So, but you have something you finished.
I finished a cowl. I finished my descent cowl. So this is a pattern by oh, that's a terrible thing because I know her, because she comes to the Carissa Browning. She comes to the Fly Zooms. She's very, very sweet. Um I did run out of yarn, so it is one full repeat short, but it is super soft. The Kim Dyes yarn, it's a DK, it's a slip stitch pattern, so it goes super fast once you get into it. Put it on. And it's super cozy and fun. So
Yeah.
yeah. So use Kim Dyes yarn, used a size 4 needle, I think. Hold on. Like this is how old this has
Hmm.
been on the needles. Because I do not typically use the Addy lace very often unless I have no other choice.
Not because there's anything wrong with it, but it like interacts with your skin, right? The
Yep.
brass.
Yep. I don't know. I can't read. Um, that's a whole other eye doctor appointment that happened last week.
Oh no.
But yeah. So yeah, I think it looks super cute. I'm
Yeah,
excited to
I like it.
this winter and fall. So I'm tempted to make another one, but I have some stuff I want to finish before that and some stuff that's due. I have a bunch of stuff I need to get done, obligation stuff for Ply, gotta pay those bills, and I have a bunch of baby showers coming up. So I'm gonna finish what I can before that and get everything else done. But yeah, I'm very happy with that finished object. I love it. Carissa does a great job of writing that pattern, and it was just fun. Slips. I'm very in a slip stitch mood right now.
Hmm.
I've been enjoying them quite frequently. So my mystery knitting was slip stitch and then that. So yep. I shouldn't say mystery,
Um,
secret knitting.
oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. It turned out really pretty. I can't wait till everybody can see it.
Got a year.
So I finished, I mean, I don't really know if I even want to call it finished. So a friend of mine works at a college and they're doing this like gathering thing with trying to develop community or whatever. So one of the faculty wanted to make little crafted items, not necessarily for all the students, but for the ones that choose to attend, they wanted to like have little favors or whatever. Um, and so she enlisted my friend's help. My friend can craft, but doesn't frequently. Um, and so I offered to make whatever I had time to make. And I ended up choosing this little heart pattern. So it's a little crocheted heart
Oh,
and it's
okay.
linked in the show notes. It's a free pattern and they take me about 3 minutes. Like they're really quick. So I've got about 3 dozen of them
Nice.
because I'll just, if I'm in a meeting, I'll make one real quick. The thing that takes the longest is weaving in the ends,
I bet.
but um, this is just being made with like scrap yarn. So there's like some yellow and some blue and some green and
Yeah, that's a great
um,
way to use up scraps. That's what Holly
yeah,
does. She knits
oh,
little
little
hearts for
hearts.
my students that are having rough days.
Oh,
They get a little heart. So I
the
have a
little
jar of
stuffed
heart.
ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that she made the like I think they're Hunter Hammerson, right?
I think she uses a different pattern, but
Oh,
yeah. Hunter's
okay.
got a pattern. Hunter's pattern's pretty because I've made that a couple times. It's it's a little bit more intense.
Okay.
It's not gonna
Um,
take you 3 minutes.
oh, yeah. Well, if you have to stuff it, then you'll have to make both sides and there's shaping involved and yeah. But these are just little crocheted ones and they go pretty quick, so I'll continue knitting them on and off. I think I've got 30 something in here. Um, because they're good, quick, just like little bite-sized things that I can work on.
Yeah.
Um, and it makes me want to crochet more because it goes so fast.
Oh, there's a great crochet sweater that I really want, but I would have
That's
to
the granny square fronts, and I'll do
the
the crochet
Tanis
part
one.
for you, but then you'll have to do the other.
Our gauge is so different. I don't think it would work, but
You could just tell me what gauge the squares need to be, and I'll just modify what
yeah, we'll
hook
see.
I'm using
I
until.
appreciate the offer.
Or maybe I'll just make you that sweater.
You don't have enough sweaters on the needles.
What's one more? Uh, what about spinning? You're spinning right now.
I'm spinning right now. Every time I sit in here, I have my Starling, which is a Daedalus wheel, and I've been putting a little bit of fiber on there. This is some fiber by Vicky, who's Eureka Dye Works. It is a superwash merino. I have the first 4 ounces done, and this is the second 4 ounces, and I don't know why it's taking me so long, but it is taking a very long time. I have this much left, and that's
Is
not
it
like a negative. I think it's going to come out to around 1,000 yards from 4 ounces, and that's why it's taking so long. But yep, I have the other. No, I do not. I must put it on my lazy Kate in the other room. But I've been doing that. I've been using some combs to not only injure myself, but also process some wool. And yeah, I've been combing some Cordale from Rupert's and getting that ready to spin. For the ply, Guild is doing like a fleece spin along. So I'm getting that ready to go for that. So yeah,
okay?
all the spinning, and I've got some ply spinning on my other wheels, and my Sparrow broke at SSK, so I'm gonna have to send that off to get fixed. The front maiden cracked, so I've already emailed them. And they're wonderful. Daedalus is wonderful to work with. So, and I almost ordered more bobbins for this wheel last night because I was like, if I can't use that other wheel, I obviously need bobbins for this wheel.
Because that's my only other wheel.
Yep. No other wheels to be had in this house.
Even no other Daedalus wheels to be had.
Well, it is just the Sparrow and the Starling, but oh no, I have the one in the box too.
Magpie?
No, the Magpie is the big one.
Okay, what's the
One in
little
the
one?
box. Martin.
Martin, there we go.
Yep. So I do have a Martin too that I have actually. I started spinning at SSK. We did a fiber pool
Mm-hmm.
and Pearl's right outside the door going click, click, click. Um, so I have that on the Magpie. But yeah, that's been it for me for spinning. I'm gonna finish this superwash merino and then knit it into something fun for one of these baby showers.
Yeah. What about reading? What have you been reading?
I started a new book, which is Spell Shop by Sarah Beth Durst. I have it from my local library on audio, and I am going to start listening to that. I abandoned Goblin Emperor. I might go back to it. I just could not, I don't know, I couldn't get into it. I gave it like 5 chapters, so I probably need to give it a little bit more, but I didn't like any of the characters so far. So maybe they'll grow on me with time.
Mm.
I am definitely a person, if I do not like the characters in a book, I do not typically want to read that book.
There's a lot of books in the world, so
There are. Our friend Kate really highly recommended this one to me, so I'm gonna give it another try. But because she's got good taste. We like a lot of the similar things
yeah,
usually.
I
So
haven't
I
tried that.
just
I'll
need to
have to
go
try
back
it.
and give it a little bit longer. But yeah, the spell shop came up as a recommended book for me, so I downloaded that. And I think I have 3 days left to listen to 12 hours. So, but I have lots of work to do and I can listen to it as I get work done. I haven't been watching any TV really or doing anything else other than working and listening to audiobooks. So, yep.
Well, I started a new audiobook. So I finished Blood Air,
Yeah.
by Alona Andrews, which was the first Julie book. It's the only one that's out so far. Um, and then I saw that the 5th book in the Stormlight Archive, The Way of Kings, by Brandon Sanderson was about to come out. And so I thought, maybe I'll re-listen, maybe I'll try. But each one of those books is 50 hours long.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And I just wasn't in the headspace for it because there's a lot of backstory you got to get through. And it's like high fantasy
Yeah.
type stuff. It's good. It's just very meaty.
It might be
Um,
something that's better to read. I found that with Tea and Treason would be better to read than listen
maybe.
for me and my brain.
Yeah, maybe. Um, so I started a new book that I had bought a couple months ago when Audible was having a sale. I
Mm-hmm.
bought like half a dozen books, and one of them was I Found a Circus Tent in the Woods Behind My House by Ben Farthing. It's a horror. Um, it's sort of a combination. It's only like 3 hours long, but I'm only an hour into it. But it's sort of like Killer Clowns from Outer
I was gonna
Space
say that sounds like Killer
ish.
from Outer Space. Are there cotton candy cocoons?
Not yet. Not yet. Um, but it's a guy and his 4-year-old boy are on a walk in the woods on their property and they come across a circus tent and clowns are involved. And yeah,
That sounds
so
terrible. I did not see it. How
um,
old were you when you saw Killer Clowns from Outer Space?
oh, 10, 11.
Okay, I was 28.
Yeah,
And
it's
a guy I was
messed
dating
up.
at the time was like, "We've got to watch this together." And I was like,
Yeah,
okay.
it's messed up. Um, but it's like a cult classic, it's like
Yeah.
Rocky Horror and
A Rocky Horror is so much better. Yes.
Clockwork Orange. I just mean like of the moment, like of
Yeah.
the I
Oh,
was subjected
I
to,
cannot watch Clockwork Orange.
yeah, it's messed up. I watched it once and that's enough for me. But I had never watched Mary Poppins,
Oh, I love Mary Poppins.
and when Amanda found that out, she was like, "Oh, we're watching it tonight."
It's so good.
Like the story is good, but some of the scenes go on so long. I feel like the chimney sweeps were dancing for about 4 hours. Like it just never stopped.
Um,
Um,
so the Mary Poppins books are like a series of short stories almost.
hmm, yeah,
So I think you have to kind of take it like that too. Like every adventure is its own like little short story.
like when they go into the pictures on the sidewalk, that's a short
Yes.
story. And yeah,
Um,
okay.
so on that kind of note, my kids, there must be a TikTok song of Chitty Chitty Bang Bang
Hmm.
because they keep singing Chitty Chitty Bang Bang to me, and I'm like, you don't even know what that is. They do not. Have you seen the movie Chitty Chitty Bang Bang?
No.
Oh,
Mm-mm.
see, you need to watch that. It is not Mary Poppins. It's by the Ian Fleming who wrote James Bond. He
Oh.
wrote a kid's book called Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, and Dick Van Dyke still stars in the movie, but there is a child stealer, and it will give you nightmares as a small child. Like
Okay.
it
Is it
is
like
an
the
experience.
level of Killer Clowns from Outer Space or
I feel like it's got its own cult classic like aspect to it.
hmm.
But it is no, it's like it's not Disney, but it's got some songs. I don't know if the Sherman Brothers wrote those or not. But it's got very catchy. It's a musical, so you'll
Hmm.
hate it. But
I don't hate all
you
musicals.
don't. You really like the Legally Blonde
I
musical.
really do. And Book of Mormon. Like they've got to be funny, I think.
Yeah. There are funny aspects of this, but it is classic like Dick Van Dyke.
Hmm. Okay. That's the guy that
And
was in Mary Poppins, right? That's the
yes.
okay.
And also a lot of other things.
Yeah, yeah. I just like I know what he looks like as an old man, but not as a young man. So
Yeah, he's in his 90s now. Um, so yes, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang is a thing, a song that is on TikTok, and so my kids keep singing it, and it's very funny that they don't know what that is.
So maybe someone who watches this will be in touch with the youths and can tell us what that's
They'll start
about.
their own TikTok. There's been a couple TikToks that I've seen of them of people recreating one of the dances. There's a music box scene in Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, and people recreating that. It's really, really interesting. Anyway, we are 100% off topic,
So
but
unusual for us.
if you want some small children singing Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, I got you covered. They're very funny. So yeah, they've stopped with the demure sound now.
Mm.
So I heard my first skibbity toilet the other day.
Yeah, I don't understand what that means. Like I've heard the term, I don't know what it means.
Yeah,
And I'm okay not knowing what it means
there you
because
go.
it'll be out of fashion by the time this episode goes out.
I
So,
was shocked that I heard it the other day because I thought we had moved beyond that. But
oh,
yep. Anyway, so reading, that's about it. I'm still like, I had such a good time at Wisconsin. Amy Beth talked about the experience on her podcast. I actually caught up with Amy Beth's podcast, which was super nice.
I feel like she always like it's not a competition, right? But she always says things way better, like summarizes things way better than we ever could.
Oh yeah.
Because A, she puts thought into it and some planning, I think. And B, she's just smarter than either one of us. So like
She's a
she's
sweet.
brilliant and we're her biggest fans. So
Yep. It was really nice spending time with her.
mhm.
So I told her I get to see her 3 times in 4 months. It's very
That's a
exciting.
record. Like,
Oh, 100% record. That never happens. And I've had more time, like at Wisconsin, it was nice because it was like sit around time.
yeah,
Wasn't running
just
any back.
socialization.
Yep,
Well, speaking of that, you've got a football game to go
I
to be
do.
social.
Yep.
So if you're a Patreon supporter, thank you very much. We will put out a blog post with the dates for the VKN and the fail along. And we are working to get teachers all lined up and contracted and all that for SSK. So more information about that coming in the next few weeks, hopefully.
There is a website,
Um,
supersummerknittogether.com,
yep.
a mailing list
Um,
on it.
mhm.
We also post on socials and other things when we have SSK information, and our Discord is also a great place to find information out.
And the person that does all that work is Laura, because I'm not a social media person and she's brilliant at it.
I don't know about
Um,
that.
and
I
knows
can
how to
post
keep
things.
everybody informed. So, um, yeah, so we thank you if you support us on Patreon. And we'll send that information out soon. But otherwise, we will talk to you guys next week.
Yep. Bye,
All right.
y'all.
Bye, y'all.